Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Slash Yell. I was going to say Quarter Up, and then I was going to say Strange Tales from Outer Space, and those are both wrong. Welcome to Slash Yell, the MMO show, where we, and by we I mean myself and Indigo and Adrock, discuss MMO news for you, the viewer, so that you, the viewer, can know about the things that are happening. And then that's it. That's all we do. Adrock,
God, that's
unfortunately.
such the weirdest, weirdest intro ever.
Go fuck yourself. Adrock is not here today, but Indigo and I will be happy to take you down the road of MMO news ourselves.
Absolutely.
We do have in Adrock's place a photograph of Dwayne the Rock Johnson because obviously it's like Rock.
Same
so
person.
It's like same person.
Same person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrock could probably kick his ass. Like let's
Both super swole.
swole. I hate that word so much. I can't even describe to you how much I hate the word swole.
Got it. Every time you say Doge, I will say swole.
It even sounds like you're gagging when you say it, like swole, swole. I don't like it. Anyways, let's start off with the how was your week thing. How was your week, buddy?
My week was good. Just a lot of work. Last night we had a game night at my house, and which was also Krug's birthday.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. I'm slightly older now. Woo.
Congratulations on your ding day.
Thanks, buddy.
And that being said, we played Mysterium, which I really like playing.
Yeah.
And then we tried to play One Night Vampire, which is like One Night Werewolf, but way more complicated and can like just way more complicated. Yeah. We tried to play Vampire, and it's the same game, but then they added like this token system, and it was just, then there's two parts of the night where like everyone wakes up in the middle of the night, and then they look at their token, and then they close their eyes, and then someone else does something. Yeah,
That sounds really confusing.
it was, and
I'm
we were
glad I
playing with
left.
like 7 and 8-year-olds as well, and so it was just like,
By the way, just saying, first person to leave my own birthday party. Do I
Yep.
get some kind of point for that or something?
hey, it's your party, and you can cry if you want
Cry
to.
if I want to. You would cry too if Krug happened to you. Sounded a little gross. I'm not going to say that again.
But yeah, that was it. That was it for my week. What about you, my
Yeah,
friend?
mine was pretty much the exact same. So let's move the fuck on to slash trade. What games have you been playing this week, bro?
I played this small game. I don't know if you've heard of it, called Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
And I played Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
And I played Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
And I played Dragon Soul, which is my phone game that I play at work.
Got it. I played Overwatch. That's usually the same every single week ever since Overwatch released. Let's move on to actual show now. Woo-hoo. Wow, that was the quickest intro we've ever done to anything. So Slash Zone, where we talk about the news in MMOs that already are on the market and ready for you to play. We usually do them in alphabetical order because it's easy. Black Desert Online's first.
All right, so Siege Warfare is coming out soon. It has not released yet, but Black Desert decided, hey, why don't we just give you this like manual on how this works before we release it? And it's fucking in depth. Like,
Yep. Yep.
It's got so much information in there. Like the joke is, oh, it reads like stereo instructions. Like, holy fuck.
It doesn't.
Like,
it reads like professional router instructions. It's just like tables and fucking charts and shit. And it's, oh yeah, this thing will destroy this thing.
I also really love the little like node / conquer war for everyone like diagram where it's like, one, you build a tower, and then you build more towers, and then someone else says go destroy towers, and then you go and destroy the towers, and then it shows a picture of people with swords hitting a tower, and the tower is crying, and then to see it, and then you see victory, like everyone's standing around a tower that has collapsed. So like it's funny. So basically with Siege, you're going to be able to take over nodes and be able to build forts with your guild and be able to defend them, and of course everyone wants the nodes so that they can use them for their trade routes and all that. So the more populated the area, or the more like the more, what is it called, resources that aren't readily available, you're going to have to fight for them a lot harder, because a lot of people are going to want to own and run these. So with that, you're going to get, this whole entire thing shows you how to build nodes, what new items you're getting, new weapons, ways to defend, ways to attack. It's, like I said, fucking in depth.
Yeah, and this is really cool because like I've always thought that was a missing archetype in games. Like, so you have like, you know, the caster who stands on the back and deals AoE damage, and the ranger who does or single target range damage, and the rogue who does like super high burst melee. Like, those are all archetypes that exist. But the thing that's been missing the whole time, and some games have tried to do this, and some of them have actually succeeded in my opinion, is the strategist. The person who like has like the overview of what's happening and can like relay information and like understands the mechanics really well. Like, the person that just benefits in playing this game, not by having like the twitchy reflexes, but just by like devoting themselves to learning the shit and like understanding it and like knowing what's going on. I think this is kind of like a step in that direction. Like, there used to be a game, I for the life of me can't remember the name, but you start the game and everybody's a foot soldier, and one of you runs into this machine that's in your base. And when you run into it, your soldier disappears from the game, and you get a bird's eye view of the entire map with like fog of war, like as though you're playing StarCraft or Warcraft or whatever. And you can voice comm to the rest of your team and be like, I need X person to go here, and I need this person to go do this thing, and oh, we need to defend this area. You two stop doing this and do this. And the huge problem with it is that your teammates don't have to listen to you. But, you know, that's a flaw in people, not necessarily in the game. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, that archetype would be so interesting to have in a game. And it's sad because I don't think it'll ever happen, because I don't think there are enough people that want that kind of thing.
Sure.
Like, you're not shooting people. You're telling people where to go shoot people, you know?
And you got to hopefully, you know, they do that.
Yeah. And like, there's also the thing of like, okay, what if somebody on your team is that thing but isn't good at it? Like, then the whole team, like, you're basically like putting the entire chance of victory into this one person correctly doing this one job.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's an awesome idea. I think that this kind of like really super in-depth not method, but like gameplay mechanic is kind of a step in that direction, and I'm really excited to not play it because I don't think I could get into it, but I'm really excited to watch it.
Okay.
Like, I'll watch YouTube videos of these sieges for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting that they decided to come out with their own manual and how to explain it from the developer versus just handing out the content and then letting the players build upon that and creating their own manual, which may be incorrect or not as accurate, or, you know, and the fact that they're just like, no, this is how this shit works. Like, this is
it kind of shows that they're confident that it's not like there's not only one way of approaching it. Because I think normally that's why developers kind of don't provide manuals like this, I guess. Because if you give them all the information up front, people will just crunch numbers, figure out what the best thing to do is, and then do that one thing over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that makes it boring.
Are you okay?
I have the hiccups.
Yeah?
Yeah. So excuse me if I hiccup, or if it sounds like I'm moaning on the podcast.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening right now? All right. Why don't you go into the next piece of news that was making you moan earlier?
Oh my God, this is okay. It's not funny. The Division apparently has lost 93% of its player base since it launched.
After 3 months.
After 3 months, which is bananas. That's such a fucking high number. So it went from 2.1 million players per day down to 150,000 players per day.
I mean, 150,000 players per day is still...
That's not something to laugh at, but...
No. That's still a fucking great number.
That's a huge drop in people.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
Insane.
I mean, you got to realize that there is going to be that drop, because you're going to see all those players that saw the trailers and went, oh, that game looks so cool, get into it, realized it was an MMO, and go, oh, fuck. Or those people that thought it was going to be more MMO-y and got in there and said, oh, fuck. Right. Or then there's the people that are just not good at first-person shooters and bought it because of the hype. You know, I mean, I imagine there was going to be that player drop-off, but that's a fuck ton.
Yeah. And I guess it doesn't matter because it's not subscription-based, so they already have 2.1 million players worth of money.
Yes,
so that's good for them.
Absolutely.
But it's like, I guess the real question from their perspective is how many of those people, that 93% of people that left, are going to come back when we do like a huge content release, you know? Because if they go from the income of 2.1 million people buying the game to 150,000 people buying the next release, they're boned.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have to remember that their continuous money strategy is expansion, not expansions, but like DLC downloads.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
they don't have drops. Like a microtransaction in-game thing. So how are they going to monetize? They need to monetize with content, if they are losing 93% of the people that are paying for that content, this isn't like microtransactions where a small portion of your people keep you going. Everyone's paying for the thing. So if you don't have anybody paying for the thing, you're not going to have anything. Money is the word instead of thing that I meant to use at the end. You're not going to have any money. And so you're fucked. And I don't know if this is like, I think it's kind of a mix. I think you're right in that it's like some people hopped into the game because of the hype and they thought it was going to be this thing that they wanted and it wasn't what they wanted. I also think that like maybe the huge amount of bugs can...
fuck yeah.
Maybe have contributed to that.
I don't know why this popped in my head, but they never integrated the mobile version of this game that they were talking about.
Yeah, right? I would be all over that.
Like, because they were talking about, you could hop in game on a tablet or on your phone.
Yeah, it's like
and
be able drone.
As a drone and be able to go around and help your team. They never implemented that. Yeah. So you got to realize it's going to be false promises. Then you've got all of the bugs. All of them. So much so that they're saying that there are more frequencies of bugs in this game than there was for Destiny, which blows my mind because that game was just riddled. So,
and these aren't small bugs in this game either. Like the ability to increase the DPS of your weapon by switching it back and forth. Hello, how do you not get that locked down? That's a bananas bug. They're not just like, oh, you can clip through this thing and then the game teleports you back to this area. Like, no, you can literally break the game. You can be God mode. Anyways, I guess, time will tell how many people pick up the game after DLC happens. But I'm not terribly confident that they're going to again. I think this is kind of where this is going to live in this 150,000 area.
Yeah, in this section and this quantity of people, I agree.
Yeah, which is fun while it lasted. Thanks for playing. Appreciate your life.
Well, I mean, and we can't say anything. I mean, we fell off. We were really excited about the game.
Yeah,
played it, and then we stopped for a little while, and then we got back into it to try like the next expansion part, and then we all went, "Why did we stop playing this?" And we all played it for one night, and then we stopped playing the very next day.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I think it's because it's like, first of all, really easy for us as a group to get out of sync with one another as far as levels concerned.
Yes.
So a game like Overwatch for us is really easy because that doesn't fucking matter.
And
then there's the like, I don't know. And then at that point it gets boring for whoever's ahead,
Yeah.
So like Adrock surpassed us by a mile, and then he just had to like, oh, I'm gonna run these dungeons not with you guys, and then it's less fun because your friends aren't playing with you, or he's running dungeons with us and just like one-shotting everything.
Yep.
I
mean, but that's an MMO. That's an MMO as a whole. So, I mean, remember, he would always surpass us in level in WildStar. The difference is that there were different classes that he would then be able to restart, catch up to us, and play with us.
And the content scaling was different too, because WildStar would scale the person. So if we went to a dungeon, he would get scaled to the dungeon, as opposed to this content getting scaled down, which either makes it a challenge for us and not for him, or a challenge for him and not for us. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of stuck in that shitty situation where nobody, there has to be somebody not having fun if you're not on the same level, which is kind of dumb.
So there's a ton of reasons why these numbers dropped. But I can't imagine that they're gonna ever get back up to that 2.1 million.
No, but see, I'll go a step further and say it won't get anywhere close. Like if they get back up to 750,000, I'll be surprised.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I imagine this number will probably continually go down. I mean, it will have its spikes every once in a while with content drops.
Yeah, maybe.
But the thing is, this is the thing is, only the first 2 content drops were supposed to be free. Content drops after that were supposed to be paid content drops. So we're going to probably be seeing that spike once or twice more. And then I think it's just going to fall off.
Maybe one. Like, yeah, it's hard to, after you leave a game. Well, okay, I'm not going to speak in generalities about this. After I leave a game, it's hard for me to come back if I have to pay. Like if there's a barrier to entry, there's no motivation for me to do that. Like I left you for a reason. There are other games now. Like I don't see a reason to come back to you.
So you bring it up with your girlfriend.
Look, we were really great together when we were, a thing, but now we're not a thing, and now I have to pay to get you back because this analogy got weird.
I already bought someone else. I already bought
someone else. Why would you think that sounded like a breakup? You're a horrible person.
Why don't we move on to the next piece of news?
Yes, Fixiv has a gear design contest.
Fixiv?
Final Fantasy. We're talking about Final Fantasy. Thank you. I pronounced the.
All right, I'm gonna go to sleep during this part. All right.
No, this is hilarious. You're going to laugh. Did you read this? Because you probably didn't. Because you're not laughing hilariously.
I saw Final Fantasy and I was like, I don't feel like I can talk about it.
So they're having a gear design contest. I'm
okay.
Go over like a brief overview of what that's about. Okay. This isn't all the details.
It may look like my eyes are closed, but I'm super listening.
You think I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to the audience now.
Sorry.
You got to shut the fuck up.
Okay, talk.
So there's a gear design contest. I'm going to go over a brief overview of the rules and the stipulations of the contest, and then we'll get to the funny part. If you want the full details, obviously there's going to be a link in our show notes that you can check out for that. So, gear design contest. You have to design a full set of armor for a tank. So that would be head, body, hands, legs, and feet, all 5 slots. It's from Sunday, June 5th to Monday, July 4th, or when you can submit your entries. You can submit as many entries as you want, and they're basically asking for images that you either digitally create or that you draw and take a picture of. They're not asking for 3D models. They're just asking for concept art, basically. And so the prizes, there'll be one grand prize winner, and that prize is going to be you get your item that you created in-game, and then you get a set of 4 in-game items, a noble bardling chocobo, oh my god, we always do this. I can't fucking pronounce any of the fucking items. An Arhman choker, a Mandragora choker, and a bluebird earring. I can pronounce the word bluebird. So that is what you get. There's also 10 runner-up prizes, and you basically just get the 4 items, but your item doesn't get implemented into the game. This is the funny part, in my opinion. So there's some fine print, and it's not really fine print. It's actually red and like the same size as the rest of the print, but there's stipulations, and I think they're funny. So the number of winners for each prize is subject to change. Okay. That seems random. The development team may make adjustments to the grand prize winning design. That's fair. It's their game. They want to, take something away or add something to the winning design, by all means. This one's funny. Please refrain from posting your entries on blogs or other social channels until Square Enix announces the list of finalists on Lodestone. If entries are found to be posted before the list of initial finalists are posted on Lodestone, the entry will be disqualified. So the thing you create and submit to them, you can't post other places. You have to just send it to them.
So I'm gonna go back to the first one. Number of winners for each prize is subject to change.
Yeah,
I can see that. If they get like 2 or 3 things where they're like, wow, these are fucking amazing, like I can't choose, we're gonna add some. Or we didn't get enough people that we thought were worthy of.
Hold on. Because that thing you just said. In the event that an entry other than the grand prize winning entry is deemed to be excellent, Square Enix may choose to implement it in the future. So basically, they're like, yo, send us your concept art. We'll implement one person in the game and then give 10 people all these items, but we're just going to use your concept art. Like, I think that's the funniest thing ever.
Damn it.
And it's not like, I don't think this is like mean or underhanded or anything like that. It's totally like that's what the contest is. But then it's just like, yo, you could just be sending us your concept art for free. Like you could lose the contest. You could not get runner up, and they can still implement your design in the game.
Like, god damn it. Because at that point, why don't they just say, hey, we gave 2 people the first place. We're only going to make one of them. Here's the one we make. And then later on they go, oh, that first prize person we decided last time, we're going to add them. Like, why wouldn't they just do something like that versus like, by the way, whatever you submit, it's actually ours. Like, development team may make adjustments to the grand prize winning design. Okay. I super get that. Like, that makes super sense.
Yeah,
like,
if somebody submits something super awesome but has like a dick on the front, or not like
no,
not an oblique.
But like, they make something super awesome, but the coloring is blue, and they say, you know what, actually, this is going to go really well with this expansion, and the theme for these guys is colored red, so we're going to use red instead of blue.
Sure.
Like, they can make changes for that because they understand the limitations and the benefit of their actual engine that they're using. But please refrain from posting your entire your entries on blogs or other social channels until Square Enix announces the list. Fuck you. Fuck you. Right fucking here.
But
like,
you understand why they're doing that, right?
Yeah, so okay, I want to hear what you think.
So I think it's a way of like consolidating the hype. So if you want to check out the entries, you have to go to them. You can't like on Twitter look up the hashtag gear design contest and see all that doesn't give them traffic. That kind of takes it out of their control, and then people aren't experiencing it the way they want it to be experienced. They want people to go to their site where they can control everything.
I get that. I get that, but like there's other ways to go about that, or like make sure that wherever you post it, you link it to, or like link it to here, so that they vote for who they think is best.
Sure.
Because then it brings traffic and it pushes people to like go here and vote for my contest. Yep. You know what I mean? Versus like,
I agree.
So dumb.
See, because now what the social media posts are going to be is go vote for my thing, and then there's going to be no image of the thing. And then everyone's going to be like, no, I don't want to vote for your thing. I can't see the thing that I'm voting for. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
like,
it's stupid. It looks like a giant dick.
Here's a little interesting thing about QueueTimes. When we post a tweet on our Twitter, we get X number of interactions. And then when we post a poll on our Twitter, we get X number of interactions times 10. Like, it's absolutely astonishing how many more people will interact with something that is literally just click, move on.
Yep.
If people have to put work into seeing these things, it's not going to be interacted with very often. And I think they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot by saying, you can't post these somewhere else because we want people to come to our site and look at them. Brr, brr, brr.
Also, super shady side to this. What if they take someone's design and go, okay, yeah, we like this, and give them like second place or whatever. And then they turn around and just add it to the game. Like,
yeah, that they can do that by these rules.
Yeah, exactly. So dumb. So dumb. Anyways, I'm leaving this dumb. I'm out of dumb.
I'm okay with leaving this dumb.
All right, so going from dumb to something that should have been done a long time ago.
Yeah. A disgustingly huge amount of time ago.
WildStar is officially on Steam as of June 9th. Whoop. Congratulations, guys. I mean, when we were still doing STOS, we were talking about the Steam like codes and numbers that we were seeing online. Like, this should have happened so long ago.
I remember those days. I remember when we first, what was it, SteamDB or whatever that website is? Yeah. And we had to like talk about whether or not it was real or if it was a sign of free to play or not, because it was still subscription back in those days. And now here it is, free to play on Steam. Look at it go.
Yep. But congratulations. From my understanding, there has been a large boon in number of people playing at a time, which is awesome. So I'm super excited about that. I'm hoping that that's going to push more money into Carbine, and they're going to be able to continue going on and updating the game and creating new content. You know, like, I'm super excited that they did this. I do definitely wish they would have done it sooner, but I mean, can't change anything about it now.
Better late than never. It also has a 79% positive review rate on Steam.
Okay,
873 reviews.
Hold on. I want to talk. I want to talk about that.
All right,
actually.
Go ahead. What is the about that?
If you go through the people that rated it, right? It's mostly people that have been playing the game for a really long time. Because like there was one where like, I've spent hundreds of hours in this game. It's like time played 0.6 hours. And you're like,
really?
Like, all right, cool. But yeah, most of them are positive, and even the negative ones that I've read on there, they're like, look, first line, I had a hard time deciding whether I should give this a positive or a negative review. I love this game. That's the first sentence. You know what I mean? And the negative that they did have about it wasn't about the game itself. It was about some decision making and just background stuff that happened. But yeah, for the most part, it's just thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. It's a great game, guys. Like, if you haven't played WildStar, which I believe 90% of our fan bases on Slash Yell is from WildStar, but if you haven't played it yet, go play it. It's such an amazing, fun MMO.
Grab a friend. And go play WildStar. It's fun.
If you're willing to ruin your MMO experience for every other game out there, you need to do this.
Yeah, that's kind of an important thing. If you play WildStar, other combat mechanics are going to feel broken to you. Like, broken in the sense that nobody put any thought into them. Because WildStar just blows it out of the water. And WildStar has problems for sure. But the one thing I don't think it has very many problems with is its combat system. Please implement cover. Thank you.
Please implement, blocking. Anyways, so we're gonna go from WoW. We're gonna go from WildStar to WoW, not the other way around.
Not the other way around. Yep.
So there was an interview with Tom Chilton and Chris Robinson this week about a lot of different content. So the first thing is the legacy servers. So we know we've talked about this, and I'm glad that Adrock is actually not on this episode.
Wow.
Because he would just get angry.
I guess he hates the idea.
He hates the idea of legacy servers. So they sat down and said, hey, why, what's going on with the legacy server? Are you guys going to do it? They keep saying it's difficult to do, from a spokesperson, but can you tell us why it's difficult? And they're like, look, the way that this worked is, you would cast Fireball, and Fireball would do 200 damage. And then we would go, oh, that's too strong, or that's too powerful. And they would go in there and they'd say, instead of 200, it does 100 damage. And they were just rewriting over data. They weren't saving it and capturing it.
Right, which we've known for a while. They said for a while they don't have original anything from Vanilla WoW.
Yeah, exactly. So everything has literally been overwritten. And then they said, well, then if you guys don't have the technology to, but these guys do from Nostralia? Yeah. They're like, if you guys don't have the technology, doesn't that mean that these guys do? And they said, no, actually, the reason why they have the information they have is they sat there for hours, countless hours, watching videos, watching, the snapshots of different content, and saying, oh, how much health do you think that guy had? Oh, you think he had about 150? All right, give him 150. How much damage did that fireball do? Oh, it did about this much damage. All of these numbers are literally guessed. Oh my God. Like, when I read that, I was just like, how did you even come up with, okay.
Yep.
I guess that's a thing. Yeah, they just
guessed.
Yeah.
It's not even guessed. Like, it's put a fuck ton of time into sitting there and getting enough information. And that's so much information. Like, the sheer amount of time you have to devote to sitting in front of your computer and watching YouTube in order to get enough information to even guess at something like that. It's just fucking bananas,
Yeah, because you got to realize you got to guess on damage for each spell at each level, and how much damage your enemy does for each class, for each armor type.
And then ranges for abilities and like AoE size, like stuff like that. Like getting there and like super positioning an image over the video and like trying to like make the circle the same. Like, wow. They basically traced over it is what they did.
Yeah.
And that's insane to me. That's absolutely insane.
All of that data and all that information is all from someone else's head.
Yeah. And apparently it worked because everybody liked it.
Well, everyone that was playing it liked it.
Right.
I mean, but as for an answer for what they're going to be doing for legacy servers, they still don't know. They've said, hey, why don't you guys just hire them on and have them do that? And they're like, I'm not a copyright person. They can't even answer that question. Like these guys don't have that kind of information, but they did go over and they even went and played on those servers with them when they met up with them and talked to them about it.
Oh, for real?
Like, yeah. And they even, they did a 40-man run. It was funny.
I didn't know that. That's the best.
So going from the past and going to the future, we're talking about expansions. So they talked a little bit more about how they roll out expansions and how content gets decided and how quickly it gets done. So they actually start working on the next expansion halfway through the design of their of the first expansion. So they've been working on Legion since Pandera. So when they're about halfway through Pandera, they go, okay, we're going to start working on this one. And then we're going to start working. So Mists of Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor, and Legion. So that means they've got the next 2 expansions already worked out, and they've already started designing and coming up with them.
Which is insane.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, yeah, of course we do. Duh. So they said, okay, well, is the next expansion going to have 2 years in between the expansions? And they said, honestly, we can't answer that question because each expansion is dependent on how much information that they actually need, what kind of content that they're going to be putting together. Like they estimate beforehand how long it's going to take, and then they get to a point where they go, okay, realistically,
was
how much?
That a good estimate or not?
Yeah, like realistic.
I'm sure they have a goal in mind. Like I'm sure they know that they want to do it after 1 year or 2 years right now, but I'm also sure that they know that that's not necessarily going to be truth. And if they release that information and people like, are waiting for it, and then they say, oh, by the way, we're delaying by 6 months or whatever, people are gonna be pissed. So they just want to like avoid that problem, which is super common.
Yeah. So they kind of poked at them. They're like, so Warlords of Draenor had 2 content updates in the 2 years of that game. Are we gonna see more of more content updates? And they admitted saying yes, Legion is going to have a much more fuller content update more frequently overall before the expansion. And they basically said that the reason why Warlords of Draenor didn't have as much content update is because they thought that they were going to be able to get through Legion much quicker than they originally thought. So they hired a bunch of people to come in, and they said, okay, if we have more people, we're going to be able to get the same amount of content that we want done sooner. And what they realized is that no, what they could do is they could get through more content in the same amount of time, though, because things funnel down to individual people that have to make overall decisions, or only one person can be drawing this specific item at a time.
So instead of getting 30 things done in a year, they can get 50 things done in a year, but they can't get 20 things done in a year.
No. They're saying that they can't get
30 things done in 6 months.
Exactly. So they're saying we can get more stuff done in the same amount of time. We just can't get
throwing more bodies doesn't speed up projects. It allows you to take on new projects in the same period.
Exactly.
Kind of
exactly. That's 100%.
Which is interesting. That's an interesting workflow problem for them as a company.
No. It absolutely is. And I mean, I'm glad that they're admitting to why, because I didn't understand it. I'm like, I played Warlords, or I saw the Warlords come out, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to get into it because Pandera wasn't I didn't like the pandas. And then I when I came back, I just saw people just complaining about there's nothing to do in the game. I was like, what is going on? But now they flat out just like, yeah, we fucked up. we thought we were gonna be done with this way sooner than we really were. So hopefully we're gonna be seeing a much more frequent content update and get more done in the next expansion.
And kind of obviously, it's really good to hear them say that out loud, because as a consumer, you're like, okay, now you know why you fucked up. You're probably not going to do that same thing again, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and they're like, okay, this is what we realized. So now we have legitimately put together. And since they're saying we got more content than we were planning for Legion, then that means that it should be even fuller than they were expecting.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Ooh.
We'll see. That being said, the next question they kind of asked him was what's the expansion that you guys really want to do that you haven't done, or that you would like to see happening? And their response was the boat expansion. They basically,
so I don't know what that is. You have to explain that to me.
Yeah. I'm absolutely. So they want to have an expansion that is boat centric. So basically you would get a boat, and you'd be able to, sail the 7 seas of the worlds. But the thing is that you'd be able to do this, but you would upgrade your boat, and as you go on and you get more parts, and you'd have better weapons on it, better defenses. But then they're like, okay, well, why haven't we seen that? And they're like, well, this is kind of our 2 expansions away expansion. And he's like, okay, well, so we should be seeing this in 2. And they're like, no, it's kind of a joke that we've got going on. We've been wanting to do the boat expansions for 12 years now. And they're like, we keep saying, oh, the technology and the information and the amount of work that we need to get done to do this, because they have to basically reshape how the world works. So if you swim out into the water, you drown, you become exhausted. If you fly out, your bird becomes exhausted and you fly and fall into the water and you die. So they've got to now make it kind of a continuous world almost if you're going to get in a boat and just go from one section to another.
Right.
So they've got to change how the world works, how everything is put together, and how loading screens work, how the traditional questing system works, because then you have to go to an island every single time, or maybe there's someone on your boat. So there's so much that they have to change and like do for the game for it to really take effect. So they keep saying, we're going to do it, we're going to do it, we're going to do it, but they never get to it.
Which is sad.
Yeah. Well, do you want a boat expansion?
No, I don't. But it's sad that they are beating their head against the wall for something that they want really badly, apparently.
I think it'd be
if
interesting.
They've been talking about it for 12 years.
I think it'd be interesting. I mean, because you have to understand that water and boats and stuff like that is a big part of the world of Warcraft. You know what I mean? Like,
it's one of the like primary modes of transportation given the like kind of era of technology that they're in.
Absolutely.
And then obviously flying dragons.
Duh. I mean, come on. Well, that's it. All of our news for this week's /zone. So we're gonna move on to /LFG, which is our beta. You know, games that haven't released yet. All just information for content that we haven't seen yet. So the first piece of news we're gonna talk about is something that we actually just bitched about last week, if you remember. You remember when Crowfall released their video about the druid and its abilities and its castings?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, yeah, those sound effects really need to change. Like, and we kind of bitched about it. Well, guess what? Here's the video on.
This is them doing that.
This is druid sound effects and like what they did and why they're changing it. These are different from the original video. Like, these actually sound pretty good by themselves.
These do sound wonderful by themselves. And actually, I kind of like the way they did the video in that it's not just like somebody with like a screen capture showing you the thing. It's actually like a meeting between the guy who's designing the audio, the art director, and the game director. It's straight up like a meeting. Like they're in a, and I know that I sound super fucking like nerdy for like, oh, I love the fact that this is a meeting. Like that sounds really dumb, but
no. I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing about there's a part in there where they do a sound effects and the woman goes, oh yeah, I like that. And he goes, you sounded disappointed. And she goes, no, I just haven't had breakfast. Yeah. Like, just flat out, just like.
And you, like, as a viewer, you're like, she didn't like it. She's lying to you. Like, after the camera stops recording, she's going to tell you to redo it.
She's like, no, I really like it. I just haven't had breakfast.
I just haven't had breakfast.
So the other part where the best part is they do a sound effect, and someone in the background just, like, apparently didn't know that they were recording this because whatever the fuck that was awesome.
Yeah. That's the best fucking thing. But anyways, it's not the fact that it's a meeting that makes me excited. I just like to get that like look behind the scenes into that industry because the products of that industry are something that I use a lot. So I just like it. It makes me happy. And I think a lot of people that play games as much as I do will also appreciate the way this video is done.
Yeah. Well, and I love that Thomas Blair, who's the game designer, has a Horde t-shirt on. Like that made me happy.
Did he really? I did not notice that.
Yeah. At the very end when he stands up and like they walk out like this was a meeting and we didn't actually know that there was a camera. Okay, everyone get up and walk out. And he's like got a Horde shirt on and I was like, yes.
Did he really?
Yes. Are you going
to the He did have a Horde shirt on. Yeah, you can't tell. It's like really like faded. And then he gets up and like the light hits it in the right way and it's a Horde shirt.
But so I mean, in all honesty, I really did enjoy the sound effects and I really did enjoy how that they were designing it. And like their descriptions for it is exactly how I imagine like them talking about it. They're like, I really like the whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop and then you listen to it and you're like, that doesn't sound okay. And they're like, oh yeah, I made the wind sound more ghosty. I'm like, what?
No, but that part was actually like, okay, this is my experience. I heard him describe like what he did to the sounds. Like I made the wind more ghosty and I'm like, stupid art people talking with art bullshit that doesn't really mean anything. And then you listen to it and you're like, oh yeah, that wind does sound more ghosty. Like you're right. That's pretty ghosty wind. Like you know what you're doing. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I'm intrigued how they use this information. And this is my ignorance in gaming as a whole.
Right.
But they were editing this in like Final Cut Pro, it looked like. Like they were showing video and they were like adding layers of audio attached to it. So are they using this animation and sound effects to then import into the game saying, okay, you know, when this button hits, you know, create this animation?
No, I think this was just used to line up the audio with the video so they could preview it. I don't think this is how they do it in action.
No. Yeah, and that's what I was confused about. I was like, why are they like, why out of all the programs that are out there, like, do you think that they just save, because they can save just the audio and then link it up to the animation in the animation program? So that's what I think.
I think this is just substantially easier. And I also think that, okay, this is like super wild guess. I think that when the person designing the audio is designing the audio, he's doing it from the animations and he just has that as a movie file. And so the easiest way for him to showcase what he's done is to just line up his audio with the
But the thing is it wasn't just a single file that he had edited somewhere else. It was multiple layered audio.
It was kind of a presentation format. Like, okay, I know that I'm going to show all of these clips to the people that are in charge, so I'm going to put them all in this one project together and lay them out in the way that I want to, like, in the order I want to present them in, and then I'm going to play them one by one, and we can, like, scrub through them if we want or whatever.
Sure.
Like, I think it's reasonable. I don't think they use Final Cut in the game.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he uses that to line, because the thing is that to line up each sound effect with a different part of the ability, you need a visual representation. So they probably have the start of the animation to the finish of the animation. And so if you notice, they went into black, but the sound effects kept going because they want the sound effects to extend past the animation time.
Right.
And so I imagine that it is possible that he uses Final Cut to put in the animation, layer the sound, and actually build the sound effect within Final Cut Pro, and then save those as individual files and save, okay, this is the X ability sound effects. And because it's lined up with the animation, they then go, okay, when I hit this button, you know, start this animation and play this sound effect at the same time.
Something like that.
Yeah, because I think that's the easiest way for him to line both of them up without having to hit play on the animation and the sound effects program at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think if Final Cut Pro is one of the tools they use in the actual game, I would eat my pants. That doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
If you say so, I think it makes sense.
Your face makes sense.
All right. Well, one other piece of Crowfall news is they had an Ace Q&A. So each month they actually sit down and have a Q&A conversation where they talk about questions that we ask as players. So they were... One of the first questions they asked is, what are they doing to prevent zerging from happening? So those of you who don't know what zerging is, it's basically people that group up really close together and run in and use AoE abilities so that, you know, the druid hits heal and everyone's inside that same heal zone because they're layered on top of each other.
And then if everybody in that, they called it a zerg ball, if everybody in that zerg ball targets similarly, they'll do like disgusting amounts of damage.
Exactly.
All of their abilities will fire off at the same time. They're all hit at the same time, just burst into oblivion.
Yeah. But so they said, you know, this is how we're basically going to fight against that. One, we've got player collision. So they can't even ball up that closely because
like in Wildstrike, you could literally stack an entire raid on top of one another.
Exactly. In one single spot. And they're saying we can't do that. Then we're also going to be starting to see abilities like the druid has where you cast an ability and it actually arcs off of one individual person. So the more people that are clumped up together that get hit by this get more damage because it pulses from this one person.
Right.
So if you've got 10 people surrounded this one person, you hit that pulse, you're hitting all 11 of them.
Or like auras of damage, like put like a negative aura on somebody that deals damage to everyone around them. Well, if you're near like 10 other people, you're going to be taking 10 times the damage.
Exactly.
So everybody's going to need to get out of the aura, out of everyone else's aura in order to stop taking damage, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they also said something really interesting, and that's if you have a numbers advantage, like if there are 10 people attacking just you, you're going to die. And so that's how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to make it so that if you take damage from 10 people, you're not going to die.
Yeah. No, and that I expect that. You know,
Yeah.
if I see a group of 10 people and I'm by myself, even if I have the pulse ability, I'm just gonna be like, nah, I'm fucking good.
Yeah,
I'm out. Like
I'm super out. I'm going to run behind a wall.
But what was the last thing? Oh, and siege equipment. Sieges will actually do abilities that are tight knit and small, and if you land that ability on them, it throws them up in the air and throws them in different directions. So it's preventing people from clumping up together by using these siege weapons.
It's just like in actual war. Like, you can gang up on somebody, but if you have so many of your people in a clump, like, you'll be really, really susceptible to certain kinds of attacks. Like, you have your entire army in one little clump and you don't have like shields surrounding you, you're going to get hailed with arrows, and that you're at a disadvantage, because even if this archer misses this person, they're going to hit the person next to him because you're so close together. But if you spread out, then, you know, people can just run right through you, and you don't have any kind of like, you can't prevent the enemy's movement. So that's kind of like, there are drawbacks and benefits to both ways, and you just kind of have to, like, based on the situation, decide what you're going to do, you know?
A couple other things that they talked about was teleportation in the world. Will there be abilities where people can, you know, summon other individuals to them, or will there be teleportation? There'll be teleportation. Will there be teleportation, like screens or zones that will send someone from one location to another? And they said while they believe that they're going to put it in the game, it's going to be extremely limited. They're not going to have any summoning abilities, so a player can't summon another person. But they're saying there may be teleportation locations where you can go from one point to another place in the world.
Like fast travel. If you're in this town, you can go to this other town.
Yeah, but the issue with that is they're saying is that if you go through that, you're basically collecting resources at these locations, and if you use them, you can go through, your gear can go through, but the things that you're collecting will not be able to go through.
Yeah, they want you to take the dangerous road back.
Exactly. And so they're saying, hey, we're making this large, expansive, amazing world. You know, we want you to go through and actually see it, you know? So they're going to try to make that as limited as possible.
Which I think is nice. Like, you were explaining to me why you can't fly until a certain level and why you can't fly in certain zones in World of Warcraft. And I was like, man, that's kind of dumb. And then I kind of got, like, flying. Like, I started being able to fly. And I was like, oh, yeah, this does ruin a fuck ton of the game. Like, now it just feels like just a grind. Like, I'm literally... Like, as I'm flying from one location to the other, I may as well be on a loading screen because nothing's happening.
Yep.
There's no threat. There's no anything. It's just travel.
Yep, absolutely. And while they talked about more things, the last thing that I thought was really interesting is that they're changing their content velocity of how quickly that they create content and how quickly they work on things. So they're saying that they're going to stop working on things that are smaller packages, and they didn't give any examples of the smaller packages, but I imagine that they're going to stop doing stuff like, okay, here's the druid's done. Now here's the warrior, and the warrior is done. Like, oh, here is, you know, the battle royale, it's done. You know, they're actually going to start working on larger, expansive things that aren't done as quickly as those. Now, while they will be using the other smaller content pieces to test out, but like they've got this whole huge, massive world that they have to build, and so they still got to build it,
right?
Yeah. So they're saying, hey, you know, you're gonna still see content from us, but you know, we've got to work on larger pieces of the puzzle. You know, we can't just work on the finite pieces because we won't get the content out to you in the time that we need to get it out there for.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm a little sad. I wanted to keep hearing about the game, but
I can't. And I imagine that they're going to continue to post ridiculous amounts of time throughout the week, because let's be honest, it's pretty stupid how often they post.
Yep. Yeah. Like, since the last. What was it? Since the last show that we did where we talked about Crowfall, which was the last show.
Yeah.
They had 5 posts.
Yep.
Which was just like, guys, whoa. Can't keep up with that. Slow your roll.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they're doing it. I love that they're just constantly like, here's more content, love it, love it, love it, enjoy it, enjoy it. And you're like, yes, I do love it, I do enjoy it. They're like, well, we realize that we've got to make some stuff that's probably not the most entertaining thing in the world. Like, I need to color in this tree. Trees.
I'd watch that.
I'm sure you would. But
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Happy little trees. Bob Fawcett.
I hate you.
Anyways, that's it, guys. That's our LFG for the week, and we don't have a /fail. So
slash
that's
yell.
Yes, slash yell / fail. Boom. Could have said I /failed because I didn't call it /yell. But that's it for us this week. What?
I hate you. I'm Krug. You can reach me at KrugQT on Twitter. You can also email me at krug@QueueTimes.com. There's no at the beginning of the email address. I just started the... Anyways, you get it. You're not dumb. You understand. Indigo, where can people find you in the world?
You can find me on Twitter at IndigoQT. If you want to email me, it's indigo@QueueTimes.com. If you want to get a hold of Krug, myself, or Adrock.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Dwayne the Adrock Johnson. You can email us at No, that's not the right one. You can email us at yell@QueueTimes.com. That's QueueTimes.com. You're right there. You trying to imitate me?
I was mouthing the thing that you were saying. I don't know why I'm speaking with a lisp now.
Anyways, if you want to reach all of us on Twitter, our official Twitter account is Q_QueueTimes.
Yes.
So hit us up on there. If you guys like this content, please, please, please make sure to give us a thumbs up on whatever form of media if you're watching us. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel. Give us a comment of what you liked, what you didn't like, something we said that was stupid, or something that you didn't know about that you were glad that you know about now. Please do that. It helps us out tremendously within, QueueTimes for Yell, Quarter Up. If you guys are listening to a podcast, please also do the same thing. Give us a like if they have a like option. Share our podcast with your friends that you think might like this. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys like or dislike. We want to improve. We want to do better. Trust me. We're not complete numbskulls, but
yeah. I'm working on redesigning this whole UI right now because we want to be better.
That being said, guys, I'm Indigo and I'm out.
I'm Krug and...